Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers a method for achieving financial success. Stoicism is an ancient philosophical philosophy that provides profound insights into habits and mindsets that limit human power. These habits and mindsets keep humans locked in anger, anxiety, greed, and unhappiness. In this article, we shed light on self-defeating behaviors that obstruct peace and wisdom by presenting the 9 crucial characteristics that are most frowned upon within this Grecian culture. It is possible to identify the adversaries of resilience at an earlier stage by gaining an understanding of these counterproductive behaviors, which reveals solutions that restore self-control and emotional stability. Stoic ethics, which are fundamentally concerned with the cultivation of virtue by means of chaotic exteriors, place a higher value on a clear sense of reality than they do on manipulation. Specifically, it encourages letting go of ties to harmful emotions, such as anger and terror, which can cause our thinking to become distorted. The things that we consider to be unfortunate in the present day frequently turn out to be harmless or even advantageous in the long run. Over the course of several centuries, adherents of Stoicism have accomplished legendary feats of bravery and leadership by directing their attention to self-mastery and constructing inner citadels that are impregnable to enemies from the outside. Here are the 9 habits the Stoics want you to avoid in your life. Number 9. Giving into destructive feelings and allowing them to control you. Stoicism is a philosophical school that strongly advises against letting harmful emotions, such as excessive wrath, hatred, envy, or grief take precedence over our ability to think rationally. They considered negative emotions to be a momentary form of insanity and believed that allowing them to run wild would result in unreasonable words and behaviors that were detrimental to our interests. These individuals, on the other hand, called for objectivity and self-control, even when confronted with psychological distress. In accordance with the Stoic worldview, allowing harmful emotions to take control of your thoughts and direct your actions is detrimental to your ability to exercise self-control and renders knowledge entirely unattainable. Number 8. Putting pleasure at the top of the list of priorities. Stoicism was also opposed to the idea that one should prioritize enjoying oneself and gratifying oneself above all else. Stoics believed that the main goal in life was to achieve virtue, which they described as moral excellence, wisdom, and justice. They believed that this was more important than short-term pleasures brought about by indulgence and amusement. They cautioned that individuals who lived their lives primarily for the purpose of recreation, luxury, consumerism, and entertainment frequently experienced moral deterioration and intellectual weakening. In spite of the fact that it is natural to take pleasure in a moderate manner, making the pursuit of pleasure your primary objective frequently hinders the development of qualities such as bravery, self-discipline, and leadership. Number 7. Attempting to find happiness through external factors. As another point of view, the Stoics believed that relying on external causes to achieve happiness is a sign of weakness, since it leaves your state of mind open to influence from elements that are beyond your control. Losing things that are extremely important to you, like wealth and prestige, can have a devastating effect on your mental health if you place a high level of value on these things for your sense of inner peace and self-worth. For the purpose of appreciating what one already possesses without becoming attached to it, Stoics created mental techniques such as negative imagery. They encourage self-sufficiency and an excessive reliance on external factors like popularity or reputation in order to better deal with the challenges that life unavoidably presents at some point. Number 6. Putting on blaming other people for your emotions. Taking responsibility for your feelings, rather than blaming them on external factors, such as the behavior of other people, is an essential component of self-sufficiency. Stoics believe that although we are not always able to control what happens to us, we do have the ability to choose how we choose to evaluate and respond to it on the inside. An individual's sense of personal accountability is diminished when they attribute their anger, fear, or hurt to other people or situations. The ability to change negative states of mind by reasoned reflection and resilience is taken away from you as a result of this condition. Number 5. Reminding oneself of the past. Stoicism recognizes that overly dwelling on the past is a sort of psychological weakness. This causes individuals to experience feelings of anxiety and regret, as well as to become distracted from the current moment. Despite the fact that it causes emotional upheaval in the present, it does not alter the events that have already taken place. Stoics, on the other hand, advise that you should only allow yourself to feel grief or fury that is proportionate to your circumstances, that you should intentionally suppress it, and that you should then shift your attention to the present moment. Number 4. Having concerns regarding the future. The practice of worrying and ruminating excessively about future uncertainty is another anti-Stoic habit that reduces happiness. While learning intelligently from the past might help build a wiser future, worrying and ruminating excessively about future uncertainties is another. This frequently involves needless mental agony that is imposed by a restless mind that projects fears rather than observing reality. This is due to the fact that nothing exists yet in the future other than within our imaginations. Stoicism asserts that the greatest way to prepare for the times that lie ahead is to handle our behavior right now in accordance with reason and ethics. Stoics believe that this is the best way to avoid mentally living out future scenarios continuously. When compared to passive worry, being focused on the current moment through the practice of self-command offers more agency. Number 3. Keeping away from discomfort and tough situations. Stoics oppose the practice of isolating themselves from any discomfort, adversity, struggle, or hardship, because they believe that doing so would weaken rather than strengthen. They believe that self-discipline, intentional discomfort, and adversity were the best ways to achieve temperance and resilience in the face of the unavoidable challenges that life presented. Self-denial and pushing oneself beyond one's perceived boundaries are two practices that, similar to the training that warriors and sportsmen undergo via deprivation, can help one become more capable of withstanding more substantial trials. For Stoics, comfort and luxury soften people in an unhealthy way if they are not balanced by exertion, self-restraint, and exposure to some adversity that they are able to handle. Number 2. Complaining about your situation is the 8th point. The Stoics believed that a persistent manifestation of human weakness and self-pity, which was incompatible with their philosophical approach, was the act of whining about the unavoidable hardships that life inevitably brings. One can, without a doubt, engage in constructive activity to improve conditions that are objectively wrong by employing ethical and rational approaches to problem-solving. On the other hand, they considered excessive bemoaning of things that were inherently beyond one's control to be a form of self-torture that had no positive results rather than the utilization of reason and one's own agency to make the world a better place. In a nutshell, futile complaining is a fixation on problems without giving credit to an organization for providing a partial solution to those difficulties by daring or inventive effort. Number 1. An absence of self-control and lacking in self-discipline. This avoidance of things that appear to be simple or comfortable on the surface is all connected to the Stoic necessity of rigorous self-discipline and self-control as the way to achieve individual sovereignty. If you find that negative emotions, external dependencies, or irrational thoughts automatically rule your state of mind against your interests, then you are living in a form of slavery. Self-discipline can be mastered through the practice of Stoicism, which encourages the use of tactics such as negative visualization, emotional repression, deliberate exposure to things that are dreaded, and the avoidance of unhealthy pleasures. This results in the development of genuine freedom, which is the emancipation from habits that are unsatisfactory via the adherence to the voice of reason within during the inevitable ups and downs of life. Final thoughts. The Stoic concepts that are discussed in this piece shed light on the reasons why the ancient philosophy placed such a strong emphasis on one's ability to master oneself, cultivate virtue, and remain resilient through the avoidance of negative emotions, dependencies, and mindsets that decrease agency, as well as the proactive development of knowledge and self-regulation. We are able to acquire the inner freedom and resources necessary to triumph over the challenges that life presents. Putting these teachings into practice results in increased strength, calmness, and empowerment for the individual experiencing them. What do you think? Share with us in the comments section below. If you enjoyed watching our video, then do like, share, and subscribe to our channel before leaving.